guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a everyday makeup look. It's going to be a bit different to my other videos. Obviously the setup is different in this video. Please ignore the ugly background. Okay. Oh my god, this is so close to my face. It's a lot. Let me take my jacket off because it's really warm. Is anyone else's house? Sometimes it's like a freezer and sometimes it's like a freaking sauna. Okay, let's actually get into the video. So I have already, this morning I have showered and I've cleansed, exfoliated my face. And then I've just applied, maybe about 20 minutes ago, I just applied a moisturiser. When I come to do my makeup, why am I so out of breath already? I've only just started talking. I feel like whenever I use one that is designed with a purpose, rather than just to moisturise your face, it always doesn't sink into my skin as nicely and it leaves quite like a, not a greasy base for my makeup, but it just leaves a bit of residue on the skin, which then means my makeup slips out more. So I tend to use a really basic moisturiser. I don't have sensitive skin, but I don't like to put artificial stuff on my face, I guess. She says as she's about to do her makeup. Bloody hell. Shall I just get on with it, really? My nails, I've got to show you products and my nails are an absolute mess. To start off, I am going in with the Professional, can you see that? Yeah. I don't use primer all over my face, I just use it on my nose. And I don't use a brush or a beauty blender to do this, I literally just pat it in with my fingers. So now I'm going to go in with my concealer. See, I use collection concealers. I'm not big on high-end makeup brands. I get all my stuff from drugstores because I just don't want to pay for it. It's as simple as that. So I use the collection concealers. The one I used to use was a really common one. I don't know what it's called, but it was in sort of like a chunky short one and it had a big applicator. But when I went in to get a top up of that, they've stopped doing it. So I got their new one, which is from the XX Revolution. What am I on about? I'm speaking about two different brands, aren't I? Can you tell I don't look at what I use? Start again. For concealer, I usually use the collection Lasting Perfection concealers. I do actually have one of the green ones here, which I use to colour correct my face if I have any redness on my cheeks. I tend to get a bit of redness sort of under my nose, so I just put a little dot on there. So I'm just going to go in with that. So I'm not too precise about where I'm dabbing that or having it super blended because I'm going to go over it with my normal concealer anyway. So for concealer, I use the Revolution XX, which I think this is actually one of their new ones, like in this like square packaging. You get quite a lot on the applicator and I don't like heavy concealer. That's something that I have recently actually changed to. I used to really try and cover up my dark circles fully. God, I'm gasping for breath today. What is wrong with me? I used to really try and cover up my under eye circles quite a lot because they're really dark. But I find the more products I put on, the worse they end up looking because the makeup shifts throughout the day. It would crease, and then as soon as it would fade, my under eyes would look 10 times darker because they've had all this weight sat on them throughout the day. I've recently actually been watching loads of videos by Robert Welsh. A lot of his videos are kind of him watching other people's tutorials and correcting them, which I'd love him to correct mine. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Although most of my tips that I use are his, so hopefully I wouldn't do too bad. But yeah, he basically has got me into this thing now where I put less product on my under eye bags. It doesn't obviously cover them completely. I mean, if you was wanting full coverage for it, this isn't the thing to do, but it makes them look a lot more natural. They don't look as heavy and I don't get the horrible kind of thick layer of product with the creasing under my eye or anything. Yeah, I just scrape off some of that and then I just take it and I do sort of 2 dots on the outer corner of my eye. 1 dot here. Again, what I used to do is I used to take this right up under my eye and do sweep, and I almost used to do the big triangle that you see, but the higher you put it up to your eye, the worse it's going to look. It's going to look cakey and it's going to, like I say, fold into that crease really easily. So I just take that and then I just go in with 2 dots there where I've colour corrected, and then I just like to take a bit on the end of my nose and a bit sort of on the bridge of my nose. I have actually got sort of some red spots there, so I am going to put a couple of dots there and just one in my forehead. Now for concealer, I do actually use a brush. People these days don't I mean, obviously they use brushes, but they use beauty blenders a lot more. I don't. I just don't. I have purchased the like mini ones to try and do a bit more precise work. I have the bigger ones and I just don't get on with them. I just don't think they blend nicely into my skin. So I just don't like it. I prefer to use brushes. I find they work better for me. I have a bit more control over it as well, I find. So for concealer, I'm going in with the, yeah, is it Real Techniques? Is that what they're called? Yeah, Real Techniques setting brush, which is just like this small sort of fluffy brush. Again, I'm not going to do a sweeping motion, I'm just going to dab it in so that the product really sort of gets stuck into my skin and blends. Okay, so when I'm doing this, I do try and hold my brush a bit further down. I mean, my hands, I'm so hot right now, so my hands are sweating a bit, so my hand's kind of slipping down as I'm going. But I try and hold it back here as I have sort of, it's a looser control over it to give more of a fluffy, it's not like I'm then kind of jabbing it into my skin. Okay, so that is my concealer done. So as I was saying with my under eyes, I haven't taken that product sort of right up to my waterline. I've just dabbed it out where I've placed it, and then any excess product that has been on my brush, I've then blended that slightly upwards, but not right up because I don't want it to sit in that crease. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my foundation. The start of last winter maybe? I went into Boots and I was looking for a new foundation. All the foundations I've been using had been full coverage. I don't know why, I maybe just went through like a hype where I thought that was for me and it clearly wasn't. It makes me look cakey, it just sticks to imperfections that kind of aren't there. I'm lucky to have good skin, so I don't need full coverage, and when I was wearing full coverage it wasn't doing me any good, it was just looking worse. So I went in to get advice on what sort of foundation I should use and to get colour matched, and there was a lovely guy working on the YSL counter. Let me check that's the right brand it is. He did me like a full face of makeup, to be fair, with all these products, which I know that's his job. But he was really nice, and I am just the sucker that gets pulled into buying stuff when really you don't want to pay the price, but you know, he was nice and it's a good product. So it's bloody written in French and I can't say it. So let me just show you. It's this one. So it's not the double wear. Is that even the same brand? I don't know. One thing that I recently have changed as well, maybe this is why I wanted to film it, because recently I have actually changed my makeup routine quite a bit, and I find it's really working. So one thing that I have stopped doing is applying foundation to my whole face. I don't know why I never knew that you could do this. But yeah, so I have actually been just colour spotting with my foundation rather than doing a full face. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Again, I don't like to use a beauty blender for this. I prefer to use a brush because I can really kind of stipple it into my skin. The brush that I am using is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, which is just this one, which is nice and dirty. Okay, so today I actually have a lot more sort of patchiness with my colour. I have a bit of discoloration due to me reacting yesterday to something. So I'm not gonna place any product on my cheek specifically because I don't want it to look thick, but I'm just gonna take the product that is already on my brush and just drag it up sort of onto my cheek. Okay, so I don't know how well you can see that on camera because I am filming on my phone, so maybe the quality is not going to be the best, but that has just blended really nicely into my skin. Oh, now I've just got foundation on my hand that I don't need. Yeah, I need to get rid of that, don't I? Okay, I'm back. Oh, I've got a hair on my lip. Okay, so now I like to go in and do my eyes. I just actually pop a little bit of my bronzer on there. So my bronzer that I use is XX Revolution. Again, I must have just gone in and then maybe they have an offer on or something, I don't know. I'm really not specific with what makeup I use. I think as long as you're not buying really crappy makeup, if you have a good base, like that is your main thing. If you take care of your skin and create yourself a good base, then your makeup's gonna look half decent, isn't it? Like, maybe I shouldn't be doing a makeup video if I'm just aiming for half decent. Maybe that's not the... I shouldn't be telling you that, should I really? But yeah, my bronzer is by XX Revolution and it is in colour Command, so this is just what it looks like. I'm really bad at showing the camera stuff. I'm like, I'm trying to look in the mirror behind to be like, where am I going? Okay, so this is the brush that I used to use, and I used to not be too careful about where I placed it. I mean, obviously I wouldn't just go across my entire face, but I would do it on my cheeks, but I wouldn't really aim at any specific area, and I'd do it on my temples, but again wouldn't aim at any specific area. Obviously I had been holding this brush really far down, because I don't know if you can see that, but those bristles are just completely effed. I've obviously applied too much pressure, it's crushed some of the bristles, and when that happens, that's when your makeup's going to start looking patchy, because you're getting a load of excess product on those bristles that are kind of flat rather than sticking out. So that's the brush I did use, and I have bought a new brush, which is this one. And this is the BH Cosmetics brush V2, a smaller rounded brush rather than it being one of those big sort of domed flat ones. I'm bloody doing a dance, aren't I? But yeah, I wanted a smaller fluffy brush, so I have a bit more precision about where I'm placing it, and I have again been holding it further down towards the end so I can get more of a fluffy motion. How long is this video going to be? I'm just babbling, aren't I? Okay, so that is my bronzer done. Again, I don't really know how it's looking on camera. It's probably gonna look awful. You know what I didn't do? I didn't take it on my eyelids, did I? So now I'm going to go in with my blush. So recently, again, this is something I've changed. I've always used powder blushes, and I find that when I try to build up texture of a powder bronze and then a powder blush, it again makes my skin look quite cakey. So I have recently purchased one of the Milani liquid cheek blushes. So that is in shade Pink Flirt 120. Now with these you only need literally like the tiniest bit. The first time I did it, it was a bit of a mess. So I literally just take the tiniest drop and I use just a normal blusher brush. So I have got here the Real Techniques 400, which is just a big one. And I just dab that all into my hand, again really lightly. Okay, so now that that's done, I don't know if you can see that, I just prefer the way that looks. I think it looks a lot more natural. So now I'm going to go on and do my brows. So recently, for Christmas, actually, I got the Benefit Gimme Brow, which is just like such a cute, oh, look at my manky nails. So I've been using this, I just run this through my brows, and then what I also have been using with that is the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Pencil. My brows aren't massively sparse, they don't need a lot of filling in. I mean, there's a few areas, so say like here, I have like a little scar. Where there's a gap, I like to fill in the front of my brow here where it's a little bit thinner. So those are the areas that I'd use this to really just kind of shade that in and fill out the shape that is already there. So that is what I'm going to do. I underestimated how easy this would be to draw them on camera when I'm sat like so far away from my mirror. And it's not that easy, so I'm going to actually do this off camera. Okay, so that's my brows almost done. What I do like to do once I've done that is just comb them out a bit, give them a bit more volume, and then I'll go back in with my concealer brush and just brush that through the front ends of them just to blend that out. Okay, so that is my brows done. So for mascara, I use the Benefit mascara, which is just this one. Can you see that? Again, a bit like my brows, I'm actually going to do my mascara off camera because I tried to film doing my mascara once and it's not something the internet needs to see. So I'm going to do it off camera. Okay, so I've done my mascara. At the moment, for every day, I only put it on my top lashes and not on my bottom lashes, as I find that when I do it on my bottom lashes, it just transfers throughout the day, and I kind of like the way it looks with just not being on my top lashes, I guess. Now, the only thing left to do is my lips. So for my lips, I use the Maybelline Colour Sensational lip liner in shade Velvet Beige. I should have cleaned all my makeup before I did this, shouldn't I? So yeah, I use that to line my lips, and then on my actual lips, again, this is a little mini again that I got for Christmas. I'm loving the minis, although they're gonna run out soon and then I'll have to pay out. It's a NARS little kind of, it's almost like, it's not a cream lipstick, but it literally feels like a lip balm. Now on camera that looks really, really pink. It is quite pink, but it's quite a sheer colour on your lips. This is in shade Orgasm. So I'm just going to do my lips now. I mean, look at that. What am I meant to do with that? Sophie, come on. So yeah, I only do it sort of in the centre just to define my lips. My lips. What happened to my voice? Okay guys, so that is my finished makeup look for every day. I feel like this video is going to be super long for how long this look would actually take me if I was just doing it. Hey ho, you know, you're here. Are you still here? Okay, so this is my finished makeup look. I hope you guys like it. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you on my next video. If you want to like or comment or even subscribe, that would be just great. Who says that? Frosty's tiger, isn't it? What's he called? Who knows and who cares? Great. Bye.